Josh Gibson is one of the best to ever play the game of baseball. That's indisputable. His plaque has been hanging in Cooperstown for 49 years, and it says that he hit almost 800 home runs in both league and independent baseball during his 17-year career. The majority of that career, Gibson played in the Negro Leagues. Never suited up for an MLB team like Jackie Robinson or Satchel Paige. Perhaps the reason he's not often in the discussion for the greatest of all time. Maybe that's a conversation to have. I sat down with the great-grandson Sean to discuss the legacy of Josh Gibson and the foundation that's helping him to immortalize his name. Tell me a little bit about the Josh Gibson Foundation. First of all, how did that start?
Well, my grandfather, Josh Gibson Jr., actually started the foundation. Of course, his father was Josh Gibson. And he wanted to preserve the history and the legacy of his father. So he created the Josh Gibson Foundation, which we serve over 300 kids, inner city kids in the city of Pittsburgh. And we provide between education programs, athletic programs, educational programs, as well as scholarships for inner city kids.
Carrying forward your great-grandfather's legacy means what to you?
Oh, it's very important. You know, my grandfather used to always say that you only have your last name. And for us to be able to become the legacy of Josh Gibson is phenomenal. And through the Josh Gibson Foundation, we do a lot of great work here. We do a lot of great work in the city of Pittsburgh. And we're also spreading that to these cities like Huntsville and Madison. And so for us to be able to become that legacy, and not just Josh Gibson, but there's a ton of great Negro League baseball players that played in the Negro Leagues.
I'm sure you've heard tons of stories about your great-grandfather. It's easy to look up statistics and see just how great of a ball player he was. But who was the man behind the uniform? What are some of those stories that you've heard about your great-grandfather?
You know, there's several stories, and I'm glad you asked that question because everybody know about Josh Gibson, a great baseball player. But he was a great family man. I mean, some of you may or may not know, but he was a single parent. His wife died giving birth to their twins. And the story was that Josh actually wanted the doctor to save his wife and the children go, but it was already too late. He's a great swimmer. He's a great track runner, as well as a great athlete. But he also was just like to dance. He was a happy-go-lucky type of guy, not a serious gentleman. He was very into etiquette. He dressed very well-dressed man. So those are some of the things that people know about Josh Gibson that's off the field. But overall, he was just a great human being.
And now Major League Baseball recognizes Negro League statistics. What does that mean, not only for your great-grandfather, but for all of those teammates and other players that he played with throughout the years in carrying forward their legacy?
Oh, it's tremendous. I'll say this. We always consider Josh Gibson a major leaguer. It's just not baseball. Major League Baseball recognizes them as major leaguers. But as you mentioned now that the men that were denied the opportunity to play in the majors because of the Kennesaw Mountain Landis will now be recognized on a Major League Baseball level. For Josh Gibson, it's phenomenal because now Josh Gibson will be considered one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Not that we didn't think that, but people always say he had a black and white. You know, Josh was considered the greatest black baseball player. He can no longer say that no more. And with the new statistics coming out, he will be considered one of the greatest baseball players, as well as he'll have his category. I mean, his stats will be in several Major League Baseball record books, some number one and some in the top five. And so when you look at the Negro Leagues, his recognition is well overdue, and these men deserve it. Unfortunately, all these guys are pretty much gone now. But, you know, we're excited about it, to carry on that legacy, and we're very excited that Major League Baseball made the announcement to integrate Negro League statistics.
Certainly long overdue. What's one thing you want people to know about your foundation?
Well, one of the things that we got going on right now is the Josh Gibson MVP campaign. Some of you may or may not know, but Josh is one of the three names that are being considered to rename the MVP award after. These are MVP campaign shirts right here that we're wearing tonight. There's three names we're considering: Branch Rickey, Frank Robinson, and Josh Gibson. And so that's a big push for the foundation. You know, we don't know when it's going to happen. It's not a Major League Baseball decision. It's through the Baseball Writers Association. But we're hoping that by the time this MVP be announced this year, that they will have a name on the MVP award. And so I want people to know that if you want to learn more about the Josh Gibson Foundation, just go to our website, which is joshgibson.org, and learn about all the great things that we're doing in the city of Pittsburgh.